If you're looking for intellectual, informed basketball takes, and you want to bring in media that knows what they're talking about, look no further than
Fastbreaks, yeah, we coming with the takes. Never early, never late, but we always push the pace, yeah. And we really study tape, y'all just view the highlights. Man, we really watching games, yeah. You just watch from the stands. We run 3-man weeks, Paul, Dre, and Allen, yeah. Way more than a fan. We got love for the game. We don't have to pretend. Got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. I'm to run the fast breaks, throw me the outlet. Yeah, we got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. Time to run the fast breaks, throw me the outlet. We on the break. It's fast breaks. We on the break. It's fast break. Let's go.
What up, party people? Thank you for joining us on another Saturday afternoon. Apologies, but we're here nonetheless to give you this good content. Thanks for joining us on another audio adventure. I go by the name Ro, the host of Promotion, and you know this. Group Bow, Flatbush. Joining me today, our brother Alan. The man could not join us at this time, but we have the author, America's favorite Haitian uncle, the man in the middle, King Dre Sock Passe. And with us as well, the stubborn one, Mr. Sturdy, PRR Sports, Mr. 1995, Coach Paul.
You got we got
big up yourself.
This is gonna be a very serious conversation today, boy.
Very serious. Look at my face. Dead serious. Dead as can be.
Talk about it.
I mean, I'm going to be talking about a lot in a couple minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you looked up to the top left. I don't know if you looked up to the top left or you looked up to the top right or center or bottom, because we have fans here from the YouTube community. We have fans here from the IG community. And shout out to everyone that's joining us once again on Twitch. Shout out to Twitch community if you were on us last night for our 4-hour stream.
Y'all got a lot out of me. Okay, y'all got a lot out of me last night.
But the reason
why?
You gotta stop, brother. You gotta stop.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop.
That's not even, that can mean so many things in a professional atmosphere. What's wrong with you?
There's a lot of things in the professional atmosphere that could mean a whole lot of things. Wait, hold on. Oh no.
Depending on where your interface is, you can look at the title of this episode. And I want to point out something. This is Fastbreaks episode 100.
Yo.
Okay? Episode 100. We out here. But here's the thing. We're not going to celebrate yet. Because you see, I go by philosophy of a man. While this is episode 100, the job's not finished yet because we just started this episode. So we're not going to celebrate 100 episodes until we've completed and recorded 100 episodes. So next week, when we're at episode 101 and we've actually finished the job and won the championship and recorded 100 episodes, you're going to get a very special treat from us. But to acknowledge the day, to acknowledge that this is episode 100, we got something special for y'all. I don't know if y'all paid attention to what's been going on in the NBA, but there's this nefarious ridiculousness of it, okay? About Paul, and we actually said we were just gonna give him flowers and not talk about his legacy, and we would do it at the end of the season. Well, the Clippers had other thoughts, and we can no longer wait to the end of the season to talk about it. Quote from Paul last week was, "Are we going to start?" And within 7 days' time, the NBA showed you how ridiculous some of these organizations can move. But in recognition of this being episode 100 and the fact that we have to talk about Steve Ballmer and the Clippers, we feel like it's only right. It's only right. If you've been a Fast Breaks fan since day one, since before I was even on this pod, then y'all might know who we have to bring in. We absolutely have to bring in if we're going to talk about Clippers. Listen, I want a warm welcome. Get up out your seats. Turn your screens to HD. In the words of Zoran Mamdani, turn the volume up. Welcome back to the Fast Break stage. One homesick nomad.
Yo,
That's right. Hold on. Wait a second. What are you wearing right now? Hold on.
Wait, hold on, wait. Four more Clippers.
Milwaukee Bucks.
Clippers fan.
Former Clippers fan wearing a Milwaukee Bucks hat. I'm confused.
Yeah. Oh.
It's Clippers King.
Oh my
God.
Oh my God.
Oh.
No.
I rebuked the Clippers in whose name? Hold on. In the name of Giannis?
The Clippers.
Wait. Are you officially announcing that you're a Bucks fan now?
I can't say all that, but I'm wearing.
I was gonna say that's crazy timing.
I'm exploring my options right now.
You're exploring your options? Wow.
Yeah, I'm exploring my options.
Once
So
again,
I
I'll
can't
give it
wear
up
any Clippers apparel is cake.
for homesick nomad.
Wow.
What's going on, Fast Breaks family? What's going on, yo?
Homesick
No
nomad,
Welcome
aka
back.
Josh.
Welcome back.
What's going
Welcome
on,
back
y'all?
to the Fast Break stage. Our first guest in a long time. It's good to have you, brother, a Fast Breaks OG.
It's good to see
I'm
y'all,
gonna get
man.
right into it with you. I know you're a loyal watcher as well, loyal listener.
This is crazy.
I'm the one that's usually in the comments, man.
The Clippers. The Clippers notified Chris Paul at 2 a.m. in the morning on a road trip to Atlanta that your services are no longer required. In your illustrious words, your famous quote, "It's over."
It's over.
Talk to me
It's over.
first. I'm gonna slow walk the dog with you for this one. Talk to me first. Just how do you feel before we even get to your thoughts and how do you feel as a Clippers fan when you receive this news delivered first by himself on IG, post excuses, and then Shams confirmed it? How do you feel?
So I was thinking about how I was going to talk about this, and then Blake Griffin came out and put out a video, and he was talking to Rachel Nichols, and he said he's not mad at the Clippers, he's just disappointed, and I think that really encapsulates the feeling because
we have that clip for you if you want to roll it.
Disappointment is worse than anger. Anger is passion. Anger is something that you still want to see change. Disappointment is when you're at your wit's end. That's when you're finally at your end. In regards to the decision itself, I think it's a slap in the face to people who have supported the team for 5 years, 10 years, regardless of how much time the Clippers don't have the names, they don't have the jerseys up in the rafter, and so to do this to the guy who changed the image and the public perception of the franchise, it's a message to fans who were fans during that time. It's a message to future stars saying, we won't respect you, even though we don't have a lot of talent. We just simply won't respect you, and that's not something that you can really build a strong a franchise around.
How do you feel about the way it was framed by Lawrence Frank's statement, specifically wanting to highlight and emphasize to us that the record had nothing to do with this, calling him a legend and saying they're choosing to part ways and they're going to work with Chris Paul to figure out his future, even though we already got from Chris Paul's OIG that they basically called him and sent him home, and he clearly wasn't a part of this decision. It was not a collaboration. How do you feel about Lawrence Frank in leadership framing it the way he attempted to?
So the Clippers' image has been tainted for years, right? Before Chris Paul, they were the laughing stock of the league. You had Darius Miles, you had the Sports Illustrated cover, you had brief moments of, look at the B team doing something kind of cool. It's the same way that we see the Harlem Globetrotters kind of cool, but you wouldn't expect them to win an NBA game. They've had their moments, but generally their image has been that of laughter. And so I think a lot of the moves that have been made post Lob City, um, in business, there's something called a sunk cost fallacy, right? Basically, it's the idea that you invest into something, and even if that thing doesn't give you, it has diminishing returns, or it doesn't, make good on your initial investment, you have to justify that initial investment. And so to be able to keep that justification going, you have to sort of have an image of your investment that you know that still appears lucrative. I think Lawrence Frank, as a general manager, from the things that I've seen as a Clippers fan, since Ballmer acquired the Clippers, they put out a statement saying Lawrence Frank's job is not in jeopardy whatsoever. Right? They said it immediately after these things. They have this way of trying to control their image, in which they want to remain competitive. They want to remain being taken serious, but at the same time, their actions are doing things that are extremely detrimental to the fans. Their action in violating Chris Paul and violating Blake Griffin is also saying, we don't care about what you guys think, even though you represent us. We're just going to make these moves, and you guys can get over it. Enjoy this product of Kawhi, James Harden, and Bradley Beal.
Well said. Where do you see? I know you have former Clippers fan in your header. Insofar as you will be paying any attention to this team at all moving forward, where do you see them going from here? They stand at 6-17, low seed in the West. They have the backlash coming from this. Bradley Beal out for the year, Kawhi in and out per usual. I mean, what kind of state does this leave the franchise in?
Well, I think you have to. I think it's a complicated question, because the issue is deeper than just this season. It's deeper than it's something that goes deep into ownership. I think if you approach business from the state of desperation, or the state of trying to avoid having this laughing stock image, then it's going to cause you to make certain business moves that are extreme, or you know you may not, like a team or a franchise that's more confident in their history may not have given up as many pieces for Paul George. They might have said to Kawhi Leonard, you're going to stick with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and that's it. That's the only way that you're going to be here. The Clippers don't have the confidence because they don't have the history and the league success. And so, to answer your question in terms of going forward, this doesn't help them get the confidence. This actually destroys the one era in which they have any positive, respect in the league anyway. So for future stars, I can't see them um, going to the Clippers and feeling there's a level of pressure that you have as a star already to win a chip, and some people they go to teams that have never won and they embrace that pressure. But there's this idea that you're still going to get respect even if you don't accomplish the goal. If you are loyal to a friend, like Damian Lillard is going to get respect in Portland no matter what, even though he didn't win a chip. He's going to get that respect. There's that expectation, and the Clippers just destroyed that. They just showed that their franchise player, the best thing that ever happened to their organization, doesn't get the respect because he didn't get the job done. And then even when he willingly wanted to come back, he still couldn't get the respect. So you pushed him forward as a feel-good thing to the fans, but you didn't actually respect him and are acting as though his personality was a surprise before you signed him. It just the optics of the Clippers organization from a fan level are destroyed. The optics of the Clippers organization from a player level are destroyed. And quite honestly, I think James Harden and Kawhi are just at a point in their career where if they never win another ring, it is what it is. They're going to get their money. And they can still put up 30 points a game and look nice, get text messages saying, wow, you were balling last night. That's it. That's really sad state of affairs.
I got 2 more questions for you if you got the time. Can we roll?
Absolutely. Listen, I'm here. We could talk about anything that you want to talk about.
First question. As a Chris Paul fan, I'm assuming, and with gratitude for the time that he did serve in the Clippers and what he did that you so eloquently described. What do you want to see happen for him? He posted an Instagram video this morning, back in the gym, putting up shots. Caption was stacking days. I think he's trying to communicate that he's not done and he's not going to let his career end this way. What would you like to see happen for him and how he goes out and how he ends this final year?
I think with CP3, he's cut from the competitive cloth that other greats, one of your favorites, Kobe, is sort of cut from. So I don't know if he's not able to contribute to a championship, I don't think that he would be comfortable riding the bench if he joined a team like OKC. A lot of people are saying he should do it to get revenge against the Clippers, and I can support that because screw them. But in terms of how much he would actually contribute to that ring, I don't know if that would be. Yeah, he walks away with a ring, but like DeMarcus Cousins has a ring with the Warriors as well, and he didn't contribute to it, so he doesn't really talk about it. He has it, but it's not the same. So ideally, I think that CP3 would be a good coach. And I think that he should look into it. I was kind of mad that he left San Antonio because with the vacancy of Greg Popovich, I thought that there was a space in which they could sort of implement a new system of coaching and maybe have more player coaching, and that could be his way of moving into that field. So I was hoping that he would join a team, in which he could do that, where if he retires, he could still stay on in a coaching role and then maybe move into assistant coaching or something like we see Steve Nash doing, or even JJ right now. I'd like to see that. I can't see him just joining a contender and just, if he joined the Knicks or something like that, he's not getting any playing time under Brunson.
I'm so happy you said what you said. You set me up perfectly. Because my final question is, speaking of what you just said, if we're looking for him to do something where he can transition into coaching, although I hear you on him not riding bench for a contender. If we look at his allies that he has left in the league, of which I think many would say are few and far in between, there's a certain head coach that had a lot of high praise for him in
Amen.
public comments after his team played the Clippers just last week. It's a former teammate of his, and you just mentioned his name.
Amen.
JJ Redick.
Let me stop.
Former teammate, high praise. Let me land. High praise of Chris Paul. Young coach himself. He's got an expanding coaching bench. And wouldn't it just be right in the NBA universe for Chris Paul to put that Laker jersey on finally? But that's not my question. I'm putting that out there to comment on what you said, but to ask you this question. I see you say former Clippers fan in your header. I see you got the Milwaukee Bucks hat on, but you said you can't say all that about you being a fan yet.
Mm-hmm.
Nomad. And I'm going to look in the camera when I say this. Look right at you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to come home, brother? Are you ready to come home?
What's wrong with
Especially
you?
if he,
No. What's wrong?
if JJ Redick holds it down, and puts that jersey on Chris Paul finally, which he deserves. He deserves to put that purple and gold on. If we can make that happen, Nomad, are you ready to come home?
To see that, like, I can't support that happening, because to see that is like to completely dismiss all. It's like to dismiss my entire allegiance and wipe my memory of the Clippers.
Wait, you just said Clippers K.
But to answer your question, oh man,
Are you ready?
We are in the alternate universe
We
right
have
now.
room for you. We have space. We have exciting whites, Nomad. We have exciting whites.
For the time being, I'm a New York Knicks fan.
I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
That's right. That's correct. That's correct. That is the correct answer. That is the correct answer. And that's
What?
brother? That's where you'll remain. Welcome home. Welcome home. That's correct.
Wait. Are you trolling right now?
For the time being, I have to support the New York Knicks, man.
Oh my gosh!
Welcome home. We got our own excitement.
I have to do. Listen, man. I got to feel things out. I got to see what's going on for real.
Welcome home. Welcome.
I got to see what's going on.
So this has been a real homecoming episode for you. Back to Fast Breaks. Back to the Knicks where you belong. Welcome home, brother. Welcome home, brother.
Listen, man.
What's going on right now?
I want to see. Listen, to truly answer your question.
Is there no room in your heart to potentially stay in LA? Is there
Absolutely.
no room in your heart to potentially stay in LA?
I cannot.
I seen there was I forget the name, but there was a story. There was a story that was posted on Instagram. I saw this morning as well, that someone who had been a Clipper fan for 19 years, they also formally denounced their fandom on IG, and they ended their comment saying, "Go Lakers."
That's, when I posted that to my story, and
Where's he from?
I thought long and hard about like what that.
LA.
I have a lot of pride. All right, the Lakers have been my ops for a long time. I can't simply be assimilated into them. So therefore, I can't be conquered. It's like if you don't beat them, you join.
I can't be conquered. It's crazy.
I can't do that. It's just like the Lakers. I said it in the chat. The Lakers are like.
I won't be dominated.
And I'm Spartacus. I'm not gonna be conquered. I will fight to my dying breath. But my home is New York.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody in my group chats have been saying, "Listen, man, we feel you. This is an acceptable reason to transfer your allegiance."
A natural trajectory. You know what this means, Paul? This means we're winning the chip this year. We can do anything.
Listen, man, I gotta see.
We can do anything, man. We can do anything.
See the Bucks at. I want to see where Giannis is going, because I don't know. He might be joining the Knicks, and if that happens, then I'm definitely a Knicks fan. I'll tell you that.
Oh my God!
Comes to LA.
Oh my!
But if Giannis comes to LA,
which LA? The
if we get hold on, Nomad. If we get Giannis and CP,
can't. It's a Luka, man. It's not. I don't have any issues except Luka. It's Luka is my op. That's crazy. It's too many.
There's a lot of ops on one team.
That's Vegeta.
He been pissing on your grave for years.
That's Vegeta. I can't support that, man. If he was in Dallas, it would be a different thing, man. Everybody else, I respect Austin Reeves and Dalton Connect, and even
how you feel about LeBron James?
That man's about to be out of there, so it doesn't matter how I feel.
He's been your ops for a million years too. He was in that Miami Heat jersey. He was doing numbers on y'all. He was putting y'all in the grave.
He said he would never put a Clippers jersey on.
Correct.
He would never wear one. And
I remember we had a former episode where you went in on him about that.
He, he spoke the truth. He was honest about it. But the time of LeBron having swing in LA is coming to an end. So it doesn't really matter how I feel about him. That man is losing his grasp on the Lakers because Luka is rising. But I will tell you.
All right, you know what, Nomad? I respect it. I'm gonna save a ticket for you though. There's a seat on this bus for you if you ever want it. We are accepting all Clipper refugees. It's okay. So have your fun, date the Knicks, have a good time, go through your whole phase of fandom. But when you want something stable, something reliable.
No. Hold on. Stay over there. You gotta treat the Knicks like a stock. No. Stay over there. You commit or you stay over there.
You don't want. Wait,
you don't treat the Knicks like a stock.
Yeah,
Josh, if you don't want your wait, what? Paul, you'll appreciate this joke. Josh, if you don't want your head coach and GM all up in the videos, if you want a franchise that honors and treats its legends with respect,
remember this man from New York.
Statues. Come through the Tinseltown, baby.
Wow.
Where do you guys think Giannis is gonna go, man? That's
a good question.
I've wanted.
You know where I think he's gonna go.
To answer your question, I mean, if he went to the other LA, which is what I thought you were originally asking, I would be mad. But at the same, if they got rid of Kawhi and Harden, and just it became Giannis's franchise, then I feel like that's deleting the badge. So I could.
Wow.
Looking at
this man is in a vulnerable state, man.
He can't
There's no way in hell Giannis is going to the Clippers.
There's no way. But that ties into what I said. Why would he look at this situation and then, some people might say, oh, I'm going to go save the Clippers. Why would they do that now?
Listen,
I'm telling you, Josh, I'm telling you, if you wake up to some Shams notifications in the coming weeks and you see Antetokounmpo and Paul on the back of Lakers jerseys, you're going to hear a voice in your head. It's going to be like a siren.
Who are they?
They're going to be calling for you. And we're here with open arms, brother. That's all I'm going to say. We're here with open arms.
Who are they giving up? DeAndre Ayton? They have to give up somebody.
I don't care.
They're giving up Austin.
I don't care.
What if they give up Austin Reeves?
No, not him. None of our exciting whites. None of our exciting whites.
That's another thing I don't know if I can support, man. This is a lot of. I want to see the Detroit business.
What if we get the Nigerian, the Greek Nigerian?
This is crazy.
Well, if Giannis goes, then that would definitely change something. It'll switch some things up. But then that's very European based. Go America. I'm a very
Austin
American
Reeves,
guy.
top 5 American in the NBA.
That's true. That is
What?
true. LeBron's American.
What?
And
Wait,
Chris Paul.
No. Stop.
I truly think Chris
Top
Paul.
5 American.
Chris Paul is not leaving LA. He chose the Clippers because he wanted to be home. He wanted to be near CP Jr. He wanted to be with his family in his last year. I truly think if he is going to play basketball again, he's going to finally it's perfect for the narrative. Can you imagine the promo videos the NBA is going to run with Chris Paul holding up that Laker 3 finally at a press conference?
That would be. I mean, if I saw that, that would be the I'm not gonna say any curse words, but that would be the craziest F you to the Clippers, man. That would be, man. I would want the Clippers to. I would retweet that to their page every day, just to look at what you've done. Look at what you've done.
Look at what you've done.
Look at what you've done. That's
a fact. That's a fact.
That's a play.
All
That
right,
Drake.
man.
All right, y'all.
Thank you so much for joining
Appreciate
us. We don't want to dominate too much of your time. Welcome
been
back to Fastbreaks. You're always family here. We appreciate you, brother.
That's a fact, man. Listen, man, I'll be in the chat, so I'm gonna catch y'all later. My dudes, catch y'all later.
This is so crazy.
We're in an alternate.
All right, I want to go open forum for a second.
For
Let's continue the conversation. Y'all reaction to this news.
Okay.
Dre.
I had a lot of feelings throughout the week about this.
You always have a lot of feelings.
I will always have a lot of feelings. I'm a thinking man. All right, let's start there. And I think a lot about these kind of things, and I think about what it means as a franchise. So the fact that the Clippers have been so disrespectful to a number of players that come through their ranks. But this just takes the cake because Chris Paul is undoubtedly the greatest player who has ever. Wow. That just got me tight. Wow.
Shout out to the Twitch fandom. If you were on with us last night, you know. If you know, you know.
Lock in.
Okay. All right. So, that really fried me. Hold
Lock in.
Okay. So here's where I was going with that.
Yo.
Chris Paul is undoubtedly the greatest player that has ever played for the Clippers. He is the player of the decade. He is their franchise player. He was the face of their franchise. He brought them back from the grave, really, from being a laughing stock in the NBA. And the fact that within a week of him,
stop reading the comments.
The fact that this man had, within a week of being announcing his, farewell tour, this was a strategic decision. Whatever you had in the works going on, right? To be the fact that you're not so adaptable that you can't say, no, we got to put this on pause. All right, we got to give this guy a goodbye tour. You let Paul Pierce have a goodbye tour for the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? But you can't let Chris Paul. Which by the way, for the record, okay, I understand that he's a little bit older. I get it. All right. But the fact that he's coming off the bench and you don't have an abundance of great players on the damn Clippers that should be taking minutes away from him anyway. So the fact is that you couldn't even figure out a way to utilize his brain, him being, as I've said on record on this podcast, the smartest basketball player I've ever seen. The fact that you couldn't figure out a way to utilize him and then waived him. The clip, I remember once, and it's funny because Josh is gone now, but there was once he talked about the Raptors being the laughingstock of a franchise and one of the worst franchises I've ever seen. Here's what I wish for the Clippers. And you guys might get the bullhorn and pause me a couple times, but I want to see nothing good come to the Clippers. I want to see them get violated each and every night for the rest of the season. I don't want anything good to happen. I don't want them to have any acquisitions. I want all their best players to be on injury right now. I don't want them to get play. I don't get Ivanka Zubac or whatever the hell his name is. Get him out of there. All right. You can have Bradley Beal sitting on your bench, Kawhi Leonard not coming out. James Harden, I feel bad for it, but I don't want to see anything good happen to the Clippers. And I'm not a Clippers fan. I'm not feeling it, but to see something like that happen to Chris Paul, right, capitalizes a disrespect that this man has had throughout his career. And while I don't want to see him on the Lakers, this would have never happened. This would have never happened if he joined Kobe Bryant and put on the purple and gold all those years ago. Never would have happened. This is one of the most disrespectful moments I've ever seen in basketball. Adam Silver should call Steve Ballmer right now and force him to sell the team just like they did with Don Sterling.
Yo,
this is abysmal. This is abysmal. I'm sorry. This is next level. You don't belong in this league. You don't. Those are my thoughts about it.
Paul.
Apparently you've gone too far.
Apparently. I don't think I've gone far enough.
All right. I'm going to keep it short, man. First thing I'm going to say is choosing to be a Clippers fan. Bring that man back home. Bring that man back home, man. Choosing. This is a 10-year-old. This he needs to hear this.
Yo.
Go back on me. Choosing to be a Clippers fan.
All right.
Living in Long Island, New York, is a clear example of poor decision making.
The question was not about analyzing Nomad's fandom. We're asking you to react.
Nah, this gotta be said. This gotta be said. It's poor life decision making.
To do it too, so because he's a
poor life decision making.
Let me ask you.
Wait a second. Hold on. He just swore to the Knicks. What are you talking about? Leave this man alone.
Oh, you a Knicks fan?
He did not.
Paul,
he
can
said
I
he
ask
was going to go on some dates with the Knicks. Relax.
I think
I'm trying to treat us like thoughts, man. We're not the side piece.
I want to ask you a question. I mean, your fandom of the Knicks is what keeps you a fan when the Knicks are down, right? But like the moments of watching Ewing and watching Melo, those are part of why you became a fan. You know,
man didn't watch it.
Not really.
He was like 2 years old when that happened.
Do you think, like,
maybe not even?
Were you watching bad teams like Vin Baker, Knicks teams?
I was watching Nate Robinson, Stephon Marbury. Listen, the Clippers had some exciting years too, where they were bad, but they were entertaining.
They also had.
They had just like the Knicks did. They were on the same era too.
And so that's like
Ryan Richardson, Darius Miles.
Right.
See, and that's why I feel I can disband from the Clippers because I was tied to that type of basketball, and now I'm not tied to it as a city or tied to it as a resident of LA, but I was just inspired by that basketball, and now that the Clippers they've sort of cut ties with that.
But the problem is
I can as well.
But the problem is you're from Long Island and you chose a team that was the other team talking about inspiring basketball when Kobe Bryant was playing in the same city.
That's a fact.
That's poor life decision making. That's a horrible decision.
I'm going to tell you what.
This moment that you're going through right now is 15 years in the making. This was destined.
I'll tell you who I was a fan of before I was a Clippers fan. I was an Allen Iverson fan. And so growing up, when I played NBA Street or NBA Jam, my cousin would always play with Kobe, and I would play with Allen Iverson. Now, at that time in the league, the Philadelphia 76ers, they didn't really have anything going on. The process hadn't started. It was the preloading of the process. I don't know what they had. Tony Roden, Drew Holiday,
Tony Roden,
Evan Turner,
Jason Richardson. I think they had.
They did. I think Elton Brand was still playing.
It was just a lot of randoms. Jaleel Okafor was going on.
He was supposed to resurrect the man in the NBA. Jaleel Okafor.
Iggy was nice. Young Sixers Iggy was something different. But like, there was no equivalent to Allen Iverson versus Kobe. The Clippers were my Allen Iverson. For us to go against LA was, it was like, for me to see Blake dunk on Pau Gasol, that was like beat my cousin.
Foundational.
I was like I beat my cousin when he chose.
Yo. What's going on here?
So that's the reason. It's not like some sort of deep love for the Clippers.
You hear those sirens? That's for you after that comment. What's going on here? What the hell is happening?
But anyway, you can continue what you were. I'll let you finish.
Josh, you did nothing wrong. This is actually raising a great debate, which we can slide into as part of this topic discussion. Whether denouncing fandom is justified. I have long and Dad, if you're watching still, get back in this comments because we've been saying this for a long time. Josh, I commend you for having the self-respect that New York basketball fans have lacked for 30 to 50
Nah,
years.
let's get into it. Let's get into it. Yeah.
If I'm going to join this team,
your organization,
I'm just going to listen.
When your organization time after time shows you who they are and shows you that they have no value for fans, for legacy, for quality basketball, for treating players right. Mind you, remember, these white billionaire owners own this team, and they're doing this to our young black millionaires.
That's a fact.
Disrespecting them, throwing them out of their arena when they come back, waving them in their retirement tour. When your organization, you're not just a fan of teams and players, you're supporting a business. And when you continue to support a business that shows you its deceptive, manipulative, and abusive practices, you have no self-respect. I've been saying it to New York fans for decades. My father has been saying it before me. The way New York fans continue to sell out MSG. Now, it's okay now because y'all are good. And y'all want to act like Jalen Brown.
Don't dismiss that. Don't dismiss that.
But
that's the whole point.
When Dolan was coming out saying the things that he said, when he threw Patrick Ewing out of the MSG, when he threw Oakley out of the arena, when he threw Spike Lee out of the arena, and y'all stayed fans and not so much as one protest or negative fan letter to his office.
That's not accurate. That's not entirely accurate.
Congratulations for respecting yourself and freeing yourself from an abusive relationship.
Josh, you see
what's supposed to happen. Informed, conscious consumerism.
You see how Lakers fans talk, right, Josh?
Informed, conscious consumerism.
Nobody. You see how these Lakers fans talk, right? You see, it's all about the glitz. They have absolutely no real loyalty. That's one thing I could listen. It is weak. And you're in a vulnerable moment, so it's okay. Feel your feelings, but it is weak to choose a team, then leave because, number one, if the Clippers went on a 20-game win streak, got Giannis, and won the chip, you would be happy right now. You know you would. I'm not gonna act. So what's the point in saying I'm not a fan of the Knicks? I'm not a fan when you know things could change. This is why you're not supposed to be loyal to players. This is why it's whack to be loyal to players. We are in the best place that they have been since I was 4 years old. I am 30. I am happy. I am happy. And this man is talking about the past. Things can change. Real talk. The problem is you chose the wrong team.
Yo,
you chose the wrong team at 15 years old. That's the problem.
Hold on.
That's the whole problem. But to switch teams, that's a years-long process. Your heart's still with them. That's why you're hurt. There's a fine line between love and hate. Fine line between love and hate. You're still with them.
Switch teams. Let me respond to you. I think when you switch teams, I actually agree with you, Paul, which is why it's hard for me to just come out and say this after all this time. But I agree with you. I do think that it is kind of soft.
Yeah,
that's part of the reason why I can't just.
I feel like I'm getting shot.
Let me talk. But hit dog hollering. Go ahead.
I think that you have to. If you are switching teams because your favorite player left, that's one thing. Or if you're just, you're mad about the coach for the time being, that's one thing.
Or if you're just bad.
Like, you have to look at the deep.
Nah, that's weak.
Just being bad is not
this is what Lakers fans say. That's the soft Lakers fan mentality. Go ahead.
I think you got to look.
I was listing the reasons that are not good, which is what Josh was also doing. He's saying that's different. Those are not
my apologies. Go ahead.
He's about to explain what a good reason is.
I think if you look at your organization and you look at their business practices, that is something that is it's a multi-layered thing because the owner, basically the owner is controlled by the franchise is controlled by the owner. So he's the one in the Clippers situation. He's supporting Lawrence Frank in these decisions. And so that means that there's no fan that's going to overrule the owner. The NBA is not going to step in and force the owner to sell the team. They're just in a position where you are a victim. You're handcuffed to whatever the owner chooses to do. And maybe, and this is something where the Clippers are in a unique situation. A lot of people would say, well, you're not appreciative after Donald Sterling, to have Steve Ballmer and all the things that he's done. You're not appreciative. If you started approaching business moves from that angle of, well, we don't want to be the laughingstock again, we should appreciate what we got, then you're not going to really assess your situation in a unbiased way. You're going to stick things out and say, well, and that's literally what I said before, the sunk cost fallacy. That is the idea of investing into something and then saying, well, it gave me a positive return years ago. If things just get a little bit better, then I'll be happy again. If the thing doesn't function anymore, or if the thing, like, if you buy a car and one of the wheels is going the wrong direction, you need to get like a new wheel. And if the whole freaking system of the car is broken, then you need to get a new car.
False comparison.
Here's the thing. We're not talking about cars. We're not talking about inanimate objects. We're talking about human beings. Okay. And there's a difference between a car not working, replacing it, than someone who's been loyal to you and has done a lot for your organization and treating him like an inanimate object, treating him like garbage. And
no, he's talking about the team, Dre. He's saying if the team is broken, he's saying if the team is broken, if from top down, it's a bad organization, and the owner is not someone who inspires trust, and you can also gauge the owner's character and how they're administering the team, and you disagree with it, and the team no longer represents anything you can align yourself with. Like when you bang these teams and you buy merch and you watch the games and you support, you're supporting the business philosophy character and principles of that business and its owner. So when they continuously do things that you don't agree with and you can't support, that are bigger than sports decisions, right? It's one thing if they sign a guy or they draft a guy and you're like, I wouldn't have did that. But when they do things from a character standpoint and from a business standpoint that you're like, I can't get down with that Target, right? Imagine people when we had this incredibly successful Target boycott that the black community pulled off. And I'm sure there definitely were people that are like, oh man, I've been getting my XYZ from Target for 15 years. They, I know they've done some crazy things, but like, where am I going to go for this now? That's soft. You're not going to stand for nothing just because you've been doing something for a long time.
Right.
And that's because people have emotional and logical connections to things.
So when Paul says we're finally good, now as Knicks fans, that makes up for how they treated your legends because you won some records and got to some conference finals. That's all it takes for you to forget how they treated
your legends.
Forget how they treated Patrick Ewing. Forget how they treated John Starks.
Patrick Ewing works with the Knicks right now. So what? Patrick Ewing works with the Knicks right now.
Right, exactly. But
what are you talking? Listen, here's the real thing. Okay, listen. I'm going to say two things
before you say anything.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Number one. Number two. Because I went through this obviously with you, and we've had our back and forths on this podcast for years about it, and you didn't respect the decision then. I agree. When your team no longer resembles the very things that it's supposed to, and the ownership has taken a position of such drastic disrespect, I think you have a right as a fan, because you are a consumer, to choose to no longer support that team. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Now, that being said, you also have the freedom to return to that if you'd like to. If you see there's a change in pace and they start resembling a little bit more of what inspired you to be part of this team and this franchise in the first place, you can always come back to it.
Or if they sell the team.
They don't own us, right? They haven't necessarily bought our fandom. You are
black man.
You are a consumer. You can go back to that team if you want to. That being said, and this is where I was going with it, there is no coming back from this for the Clippers.
Correct.
This is the most disrespectful. The only other thing they can do to make this more final is to sell the team back to Donald Sterling.
That's actually hilarious.
That will be the only thing.
That is the worst.
That would be the most we don't care thing I've ever seen in sports.
Ever in life.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Y'all mad at us? for the
Don't go back.
If they did that, Clippers fans should burn the jerseys. I'm surprised. I'm sure if I look on the internet right now, there definitely are Clippers fans burning their merch.
Probably.
Someone check on Clipper Daryl.
They're not gonna, but they're gonna just.
That's Laker Daryl now, buddy.
They have to justify the new arena. Actually, it has been Laker Daryl for I think a few years.
Yeah, like 3 years.
Oh, I was kidding. I didn't know that.
No, he went to the Lakers.
I saw him at a Lakers game. That man, he saw the writing on the wall a long time ago. But they have to justify the new arena.
True virtuoso, ahead of his time.
They have to justify this new purchase of the arena. They can't just have a bunch of nobodies out there. So the Clippers are gonna keep getting old stars. Like I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see. I could see
Chris
Rudy
Paul was
Gobert.
the best player you could have for that though. If you're just gonna get old
They could put
stars.
Rudy Gobert on the Clippers, Pharaoh, and sell that to the fans.
Wow.
And say, yes, this is your next big guy. That's something that they would do.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
This is gonna save the day. He's gonna be. They're gonna put up his stats, his blocks, and all that on the walls and everything. Look at how he can block people.
DPOY 4 times.
Those are the kind of decisions that they have to make. You're gonna say, "Well, I want to watch this guy put up some points."
I commend you. I commend you, Josh, for having self-respect.
I got two things to say. No, I got two things to say.
The only thing that redeems Knicks fans, and I know Paul always says this, is Worldwide West. But at that point, if they hadn't made that decision, you all would look insane to be continuing to support this franchise.
No, we wouldn't. Only to Lakers fans that clout chase, because that's at the heart of a Lakers fan, especially when you're not from LA. Now, look, all I gotta say is this, right? I got two things. First thing, to you and your father in the comments. To you and your father in the comments.
Father in the comments.
Listen.
Be respectful. We will jump.
To you and your father. I'm responding to what your father is saying. I'm responding to what your father is saying. The Lakers, because at the end of the day, this does come down to winning, right? The Lakers, as good as they are, still play in the. Your first expression was the reality. It does come down to winning. All right.
We're talking about standing for something and what you support in your organization. Let me.
We're talking about that.
There was a huge internal conversation about Jeanie Buss selling this team.
Yeah.
We had to, as a whole community, we had to sit down and evaluate this. Like, how do we feel about this?
Yeah.
Right? We were like, okay, this Walter guy, we see what he's doing with the Dodgers. Let's see what he's on. Because the reason we have been Lakers fans in 2 generations in my family is because of the Buss family. The way Dr. Jerry Buss approached owning a basketball team and his daughter after him, they refer to the basketball team as a public trust. All we are the stewards of this team, but this team belongs to Los Angeles and to Lakers fans worldwide. And they run the team that way. The way they treat their players, every player that comes to the Lakers from other teams, they've said it like, oh, it's different.
You should be a Packers fan, man. You should be a Packers fan instead of a Giants fan.
Let's go Packers.
Like I was saying. So now.
The biggest thing that shook our world is when the 2 young, and y'all don't notice, the 2 young Buss brothers just got like instantaneously fired, sent shockwaves through the Laker community. Because we were like, whoa, that's not how we operate. We got to see what that was about. Now, we think it might be some beef with Jeanie, in which case she's usually right. But if this Walter guy is coming in here and just disregarding people, we're going to have an issue. The main thing why we supported the sale of the team was them saying that Jeanie was still going to run it for the next 2 years. If they just sold and pieced out, we all have to sit back and go, hold on.
So you would leave the Lakers?
I would. If they started moving in a way that wasn't Laker-like, that wasn't what I've been supporting for all 30 years of my life and for 20 years before I was even born, I would evaluate. I'll tell you right now whose fandom of mine is hanging on by a thread.
Sure.
The Giants. Hanging on by a thread.
Oh my God.
Hanging on, bro. And it started years ago with the way they treated Odell. I did not like that. I did not like that. They did right by Eli somewhat. They didn't give him the team he deserved because he was still really good in a lot of his later years, and they violated. They violated. The way they scapegoated and then shipped out Odell, I almost dropped my fandom that day. The day that trade went down, I said, I don't know if I can be a fan anymore.
The same exact thing to Carmelo Anthony, but continue.
Exactly.
No, Phil Jackson, the Lakers fan, the Lakers intruder, the Lakers.
You know what, though, Paul? You know what we were smart enough to never do? We never let him be an executive.
It don't matter. He was doing y'all work for us. Anyway,
reverse that.
And the way they treated Saquon, that was the second strike. And then he went on to win a chip. I was like, we're moving like the Knicks. We're cutting great players that go on to win chips after us. I don't like it. Drafting Daniel Jones, and then the way they treated him, that was half a third strike. They got back to 2 strikes with Jackson Dart because, again, exciting whites.
No, I can't.
Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, exciting whites.
I don't know about
that. Got them back to 2 strikes. It deleted their half strike from Daniel Jones. But now they're running this boy in the ground, getting him concussions everywhere. I got quarter of a third strike. I got a quarter of a third strike.
Look, Paul,
hanging on by a thread. If
listen, I gotta say,
and protect this boy.
Paul, I agree with you on winning. I actually agree that winning, but I think that the concept of being a fan is a very emotional concept in general. Like if your team doesn't win, if it doesn't win the championship or you don't win, you're still gonna have hope, and you're gonna say, well, our team has to be better next year, and they'll retool or whatever. But so there's a combination of both emotion and logic that comes into being a fan. If the Knicks went out and traded everybody and signed a bunch of 5-foot-tall dudes, your emotions to the team are not gonna be prioritized over the logic that you see that they cannot win because they're 5 feet tall. So you can't there's a balance between that. And if the product, like winning, is going to increase that emotional, I guess it's almost like putting pennies into your emotional piggy bank. Every time you win, you're getting some more. So if you don't have the winning to couple along with the emotion, then I agree with you that in the future a person could disband their team and then they see them winning later on and that emotion will start to resurface. But logically, does the team still practice the same things that caused me to not be a fan in the first place?
All I'm saying is this, right? Teams things ebb and flow in sports, right? We see right now, I said it last episode, and I said it as a matter of fact, I'm in a group chat with some of my other friends that they're more football guys. I said this is the year of all the bad teams actually being good, except for the Jets. But yeah, they all a lot of those teams are they're good now. They're respectable, right? You see the Bears, you see what Daniel Jones is doing on the Colts. A lot of these teams that weren't good, you see what I'm saying? The Raptors in the NBA, they weren't that great. Now they're one of the better teams. Things ebb and flow. So yes, I understand what logically, this is my logic. Things will change. And to overreact, even if it changes when you're 40, to overreact, right? And say, I'm just going to not be a fan of this team is, to me, slightly illogical because when things change, in your heart, you're going to look at that and smile because it's going to tug at your heartstrings. Now, here's the thing. Wait, let me say this quick because I've been trying to say this for a while to you and your father, right? The Lakers, they are good. They're very good, but they're not at the level of the Thunder, right? At least that we don't know that yet, but we think they're right now. We could assume the Thunder are definitively better than the Lakers, right? The Lakers going up, but the Thunder are there right now. Okay, say that again.
They're better than everybody in the league.
What?
They're better than everyone in the league,
including the Thunder. Oh, the Thunder are right. No, right, exactly, right. So now, the thing is this, though, right? Because the Lakers are in the same conference as the Thunder are going to be in the way of the Lakers getting to the finals. The Knicks don't have that impediment. The Knicks have a better chance of getting to the finals than the Lakers. Even if you want to say the Lakers are better than the Knicks, the Knicks, hold on, because it really does come back to that, and you want to act like it doesn't, right? And if the Knicks get to the finals and win the chip, If the Knicks get to the and your father's right, the Clippers are directly responsible for the Thunder. But if the Knicks get to the finals and win the chip, y'all Lakers fans from New York City are going to look at that and be conflicted. And we all know this. We all know this. So you're talking about the Knicks. You brought the Knicks into this. I don't know why you brought the Knicks into this, because the Knicks are the communities, but you hate the Knicks. But there's a fine line between love and hate.
Paul, do you think that when the Warriors won chips, that people in LA were conflicted about who they chose?
Even a little bit.
The Warriors are in the Bay.
No, not at all.
The Warriors are in the Bay.
They should have chose a different California team.
The Warriors are in the Bay. It's a different thing.
No, but California is a state, right? So it's very likely that there are Lakers fans all throughout California, right? Even more so than like East Coast, right? So like, as much as you call it crazy that I'm a New York Laker fan, it's not that crazy to be like someone that lives in Oakland and be a Laker fan, is it?
No, I've seen that. Like I've seen like some celebrities, like
Do you think they were conflicted?
No.
Actually yes.
What about someone that lives? What about someone that grew up in Fresno that's a Laker fan? If the Kings did really well, do you think they were conflicted? If Golden State did really well, you think they were conflicted? When the Lakers sucked,
I promise you, there were Lakers fans in Golden State, in the Bay, in San Francisco, in Oakland that were conflicted. Absolutely.
Paul, I disagree. As a fellow Knicks fan, I disagree with you only because here's the thing. Here's the two-part thing, right? First and foremost, to be a New York Laker fan, you're operating on a different level where we can't even reach you with logic. It's just not going to happen. You have made up your mind. This is your franchise.
But why are y'all talking about what happens on the court, and me and Josh are talking about supporting a business?
I'm not talking about what's happening. I'm responding to Paul.
Because you want to. It's sports.
I'm in the middle of a take.
That's why.
I'm in the middle. Can I finish my take,
please? Do you not financially support your team?
Of course I do. Can I? Is
that not a financial decision you're making?
Yes, it is. Can I finish my take?
But we got to get back on topic. Paul
trying
distracted
to get
us to talk about.
You distracted us.
Can I get to where we're going?
Okay.
Go ahead, Dre.
As someone who went to the Nets in my hiatus, because
there's
another team in my state, and then I came back home. The only team that is going, the only fandom that is going to be conflicted by a Knicks championship will be the Nets, because that is going to be what finally sends them back to New Jersey, which is exactly what Alan wants. What? That is going to be exactly what you will no longer be welcomed. There will be no more Nets fans in New York once the Knicks win a chip. That is what that is a full trajectory turning around to bring us to a championship. That is something, that kind of trajectory is something that is.
You were going to get us back on point.
I'm getting there. That is the kind of trajectory that is respectable to bring back a culture where fans who left the Knicks and came back to the Knicks would be justified. If the Clippers had a similar kind of trajectory, Josh would be completely justified in going back to them. But right now, as I said, the Clippers are cooked.
Trajectory. That's an interesting
Can I add something real quick?
Dre, address the first part of that process. Speak to what me and Josh are speaking about in terms of justification to leave a team, and we're talking about it having nothing to do with whether the team are good or bad. Because Paul, everything you said in terms of quitting on a team just because they're bad is correct. Can I say something towards
Andre's Nets thing though? First, before you expand, I just want to say, like, I have a lot of friends who are Nets fans as well, and they're not New Jersey Nets fans. They were Brooklyn Nets fans. But I think that something that doesn't exist as much in the league nowadays is stylized teams. I think
true.
I think becoming a fan of how a team plays is becoming a lost art, because all these teams are starting to play together in the
true.
season. Like when people talk about Lob City, it has a name, it has a title, it has
Showtime.
You know exactly what range of years.
Triangle offense.
The triangle, like if you fell in love with that as a Laker, I can respect you, and if you didn't want to watch this current Lakers team because you want to see the triangle offense somewhere else or whatever, I can respect a person who just loves styles, and things like that. But you can continue your point. I just think that when the Nets came to Brooklyn, they had a different, like, KG and Paul Pierce, and even before Jared Wallace and Marshawn Brooks, they were different than the Knicks.
Wait, Drake, can I ask you, what was it that made you leave the Knicks?
The Knicks originally?
Yes.
So it was a couple of things, right? The first nail in the coffin was how they treated Carmelo Anthony. The entire treatment of that did not.
Stop right there. Paul, again, he's talking about something very specific that has nothing to do with the team being good or bad.
And he eventually came back.
How they treated Carmelo affect you, and how did you basically surmise that it was irrelevant and you didn't care?
Phil Jackson was the op from the inside. That's how I viewed it.
I want to understand how you look past these things.
I fully looked at Phil Jackson like a Lakers op that was working and operating within the Knicks organization. Everything Phil Jackson did, I didn't like. I fully looked everything. If Phil Jackson is the one that ruined Carmelo Anthony's prime. Go ahead.
Okay, so how did that affect how you felt about the team leadership?
I didn't. That to me, Knicks, Phil Jackson separate. He got fired. He left right away.
In your mind, you're like a player. Your fandom is like it's just the roster. And what happens with the organization? Hold on, let me ask the question. And what happens with the organization and management is completely irrelevant to your fandom. It has nothing to do with you.
I don't know if I could say that, but I would say with Phil Jackson specifically and Carmelo Anthony, you got to understand, Knicks fans looked at Phil Jackson like an op while he was there.
I understand, but I'm asking you a question about where
Phil Jackson was a role player on the Knicks when he won.
I think
he won because of Walt.
Do you ever think about management and ownership when you're in your fandom? When you're in your fandom, what are the thoughts you process when you see management and leadership make decisions?
Okay, I see. I understand where you're trying to go, and I'm going to answer your question. But you got to understand, with me, I view the management of the Knicks this whole time differently than most people did, and what the mainstream media said about the Knicks.
That's what I want to understand. I need you to speak to that, because you keep talking about court. I want to know the stance that you have. How do you process in your fandom management and organization, ownership, leadership? Like, how does that impact you? Ownership
is the one thing that could threaten a fan's loyalty to a team the most, right? Management, they come and go. Phil Jackson, he came and left right away, right?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
What's it? Donnie Walsh came, he did his thing, left, right? It changes, right?
Okay. So then tell me about ownership. You and Dolan, what's in your mind? Like, what's your relationship to Dolan owning your lifetime?
Dolan, you be trying to make it seem like it's bigger than what's on the court with Dolan. And
I want to know what you think.
Can I talk? I'm getting there. Right? It wasn't bigger than what's on the court, because the past few years you see people I've been proven right. Y'all want to call me? I've been proven right when it comes to the Knicks the last few years. Dolan owning the team is not holding up. Let me talk, because you don't like what you hear. That's why you interrupted me. Dolan doesn't affect what's going on the court as much as people thinks it does. As much as people think he does, right? He did at one point. Right? He did at one point. But giving the reins to Phil Jackson showed me a willingness to back off. And although it didn't turn out right, I saw the silver lining. I was like, you know what? I see what you're trying to do, Dolan. And then he did the same thing to Worldwide West and Leon Rose, and that was working, right? Dolan wasn't an issue. Dolan.
So what you're saying, and actually turn it into an answer to my question. What you're saying, without trying to say it, because you don't want these words to leave your mouth, you support Dolan in his decision making. That's what you're saying.
I'm saying that Dolan got a bad rep, and I support his decision making. Yeah. Right now,
you are comfortable with Dolan's ownership and you support his decision making.
I think Dolan got a bad rep, so yeah, you could say I'm not trying to say the words, but that's the same thing. Dolan does not affect what's going on the court the way people think he does. At one point, he did. Now, the last 6, 7, 10 years, actually, the last 10 years, he has shown an ability to change. Now, if he didn't make that change, that's the one thing that could threaten my Knicks loyalty, but I don't think I would fully leave. But you know why? Because I know where my heart is, and I know things can change.
You know what, Paul? That's crazy because that's exactly what I said. I said that change that he made, I said is the only reason why I still pity y'all, but he's giving you enough. He's giving you enough to, like you are, nominally support him and the way he runs this team and owns this team, because there was one good decision made in the past 15 years that has resulted in some success for you. That's the grace that I give you. But I just wanted to finally get you on record. You are in support and align yourself with the principles and character of James Dolan and how he operates.
Why are you talking about principles? I think that he got a bad reference going on the court. You keep trying.
That's what we're talking about.
That's what you're talking about.
That's what me and Josh and Dre have been talking about.
I think
because you completely twisted. See, the thing about it is this, right?
Right. Josh is leaving because he disagrees with the principles and character of how his team was being ran.
If
we're talking about that being justified.
Word. All right, I'm asking Nomad this, right? If from 2010 to 2025, right? If the Clippers had a 60-win season every single year, right? And had a shot to win the chip every single year, and then this happened, would you really leave after this one decision?
But that doesn't make sense.
No, let him answer, Lakers fan. Let him answer. No. Let him answer. No. I'm going to ask you a question. No. Let him talk.
Let me answer the question.
Let him answer. What's going on, man?
Because
we're an hour in. Hold on, Josh.
Oh, no, yeah.
He already said in the beginning that this was the linchpin, the nail in the
No. That's not the question. That's not the question. No, man. In the alternate universe, answer the question.
I think, okay, I'm going to answer that.
Let him answer.
No one is defending that.
Let's go.
I don't see when he thinks he's getting. Paul, you created a hypothetical that no one was defending.
Let him answer the question.
Because
host.
My answer to the question.
Paul, no one is justified to make a singular decision.
You exposing yourself, boy. You exposing yourself, boy.
Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah, we're in.
Paul, no one here said that it's justified to leave a franchise off a singular decision. No one said that. Josh didn't come in here and say that, and none of us that are arguing that it's justified supported that. No one said that. So you creating a hypothetical where it's been all gravy and one bad choice.
No, I didn't. I just said winning. This is my point. So let me answer the question. Go ahead.
Paul, I'm going to answer your question, right?
Yeah.
Because the Clippers have already gone through this. Like, and they literally, the hypothetical that you presented is what happened in the years before Donald Sterling. The organization didn't align themselves with his statements and things like that, but they were still having 50-something win seasons.
Okay.
And they had to let him go. So, like, to answer your question, it's a combination of what are the things that you believe in, like in terms of as a person generally, and then also what kind of business moves have they made over a series of time. So that the second part of that requires you to see the product for a period of time. So if a person is a fan for 5-10 years, I can understand why they would remain and they would say, well, okay, you know, I there's some things I like, there's other areas we need to improve upon, we're just a piece away or whatever. I can understand that because you have to see it through. You can't just jump the gun, or else then you would be a bandwagoner, which I've said in the past. You know, if you're just chasing,
I agree with that, by the way,
winning teams or whatever, if you're just chasing whatever team has a 50-win season, you're just the only thing that you care about is winning, and I can't support that. But
agreed.
You know, to support Paul, I think that if you support a person, right, if you have an owner like Dolan who has made mistakes in terms of trading away from Melo, a fan favorite, but then he redeems himself with other choices, you have to kind of put it on a scale, right? You have to weigh these decisions out. And for some people, that would be the thing to say, I'm not going to put nothing on a scale. I'm out of here. I don't want to weigh out anything. You know, other people putting it on the scale, it isn't the worst thing in the world. It's rationalizing things out, and it becomes to support your point, Pharaoh, how much you can suffer when it's bad, and you're going to be self-aware of it, the fact that it's bad, but you're not going to be embarrassed or shameful of it because it's a situation you put yourself in. You know that, know. So I don't think that's something to be ashamed of. But if it comes to a point where you're complaining about the product for time and time again, but you're handcuffed to it, then the first year I could say, okay, I support you. You want things to get better. 2 years of that, nah. You need to make a decision because you're handcuffing your own and prolonging your own suffering, and nobody's gonna. You have to go where the owner goes. If you don't have faith in your owner, they're the ones driving the car. They're driving the bus. You get off where they stop.
So Josh, that was actually a great point, and it answered the question that I asked Paul better than he could. That you're saying what maybe Knicks fans are doing is balancing everything and saying that it at least comes out to a wash to where they don't feel like they need to leave, because as bad as decisions he's made enough good ones that you can rock with. If that's what Knicks fans say and they stand on that, I can at least respect that, because it's at least an acknowledgement that he has done things that legitimately should threaten a fandom. But sometimes Paul's stance sounds like there's nothing an owner can do that should make you want to leave your team, and I think that's ridiculous.
That's a crazy take. I'm sorry.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, listen,
Paul, to not argue, if you feel like, okay, I acknowledge that it's true, ownership can run the team in a way that is offensive and disrespectful and can make me want to leave, but you believe that Dolan hasn't done that, and you believe that on balance he's made enough good decisions in conjunction with his bad for you to stay, I can respect that then. But you have to stand on that. That's where I want to push the culture. Stand on, you support what's going on over there. Don't move the goalposts and act like it doesn't matter and that you don't pay attention to that, because I think that's irresponsible. But if you look at it and analyze it and you feel comfortable, that's different. We can at least respectfully stand on that.
My stance.
That's where Dre's at. That's where Dre's at. Dre feels like what was happening, I reached my limit point with ownership and I'm out of here. And then he feels like ownership redeemed themselves and he came back. I can respect that.
All I'm gonna say,
he had the self-respect that when he reached his point, he was out of there.
But
that's what he's been trying to say is justified to leave. And he says, but I believe in redemption and you could go back, which is what Dre's been trying to say this whole time. I can respect that.
Listen. But this is, I'm gonna leave it here, right? If you leave and come back, you should have left in the first place. Number one. Number two.
That's not
he wants me to stand on something. I'm standing on that. Right? That's number one. Number two. Right? Number two. I believe that things can change. Right? Things can change. So just because you don't like what's going on, even if it's for a period of time, things can change. It happens all the time in sports. Number three, winning hears all. Whether we like it or not, it's a fact. Winning hears all. And number four, this is my final point, we never talked about geography enough in this conversation and location. And that's one thing that the Knicks have that a lot of other places don't, even LA. Because there's so many New Yorkers.
Mentality that Josh is talking about, though.
You can say what you want. You can say what you want, but New York pride and the New York and being a fan of New York Knicks go hand in hand, whether you like it or not. They do. So, yeah. So that I'll leave it there. Oh, and with the Clippers specifically, the thing that they're saying why they left, the reason why they're saying that they let go of Chris Paul is because he was like arguing with everybody and going back and forth.
He's been doing that.
Right. He demands a level of excellence. And the fact that they let him go because of what he saw in the organization that he built, really, that's the reason why the Clippers are good right now. And haven't been good for.
That's a great point. Can I step in real quick?
If the Lakers, hold on, just to my last point, if the Lakers, just so I can stand on my principle, because I'm in a scenario where my team did a lot of winning, right? Which Paul thinks cures all. Even if the Lakers had won all the chips they did, I'm gonna use two players because in the Clipper scenario, it's Blake Griffin, they did this too, and Chris Paul, right? If 17 chips in all of that still happened, but the Lakers did to Pau Gasol what they did to Blake Griffin, and then turned around and did to Kobe what they did to Chris Paul, I would burn every Laker paraphernalia that's exists in my house.
I think that's kind of crazy.
I don't think that's
burn
crazy.
everything.
I think that's a little crazy because you talked about 20 years before you were born. The Lakers' greatness is why you're a Lakers fan. So you're gonna ignore everything that happened before.
Yeah, and the combination of those two decisions would be such an affront to that I wouldn't recognize the organization that I'm looking at anymore.
Man, people need to be more committed to their team, man. People need to be more committed to everything in life. It's a bigger conversation.
If they did to Pau Gasol, if even after 17 chips, they did to Pau Gasol what they did to Blake Griffin, and then 5 years or so later turned around and did to Kobe what they did to Chris Paul, there would be riots in the streets of Los Angeles.
I think Kobe is more important to the Lakers than Chris Paul is to the Clippers. I know that sounds crazy, but
it's scale though. In scale of what the Clippers as a franchise have accomplished, Chris Paul is that because they haven't done the winning. So the best thing
more than Blake Griffin
ever felt. The best thing the Clippers fans have ever felt as the Clippers fans, literally the best experiences they've ever had in their fandom. Chris Paul and Blake Griffin were responsible for that.
More than the Western Conference Finals.
When you treat those two players like that, when they are the literal reason I've ever had happiness as a Clippers fan, you can walk away.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. In my lifetime, it was Kobe and Pau, right? And Shaq a little bit, right? So all the chips, the 5 chips that I've personally lived through, the people responsible for that, I'm talking about in my lifetime what I saw, right? The first chip I was a little young.
Yeah.
The second and third one I was kind of conscious for, right? The first one not so much.
Can I respond
in my lifetime, the people responsible for my happiness the people responsible for my happiness in fandom are Shaq, Pau Gasol, and Kobe, right?
Yep.
So with all the winning the Lakers have done, the 5 chips, all that, if you did that to those 3 players, I'm out of here.
I want to respond to this comment, man. Stephen A. Smith said that Kawhi Leonard is the worst superstar in sports. People say, and I remember we had a conversation about it back when I was on this podcast, and some people were saying, but when he's healthy, he's top 5 in the league. That mentality is operating from a scarcity desperation mindset. Who gives a crap if and when? You need to know that he's going to be. You need to make that decision. You cannot put your hopes and dreams into a whim. So him getting an extension, like the initial idea to get Kawhi was not bad. To get him at the time when they picked him up to acquire him or whatever was not wrong. But to look at
literally just won a chip.
Yeah, he came on. He's on top of the world, right? And this might spite you, Pharaoh. He came out and said, "I don't want to play with LeBron." For a Clippers fan, that is fire. That creates a conflict. It creates a war. The Battle of LA. That was somebody saying, "We choose you. We see all of your nonsense. We see how you just did Blake Griffin, and we still choose you." That was perfect at that time. But when the Clippers failed in the Western Conference Finals, there was an opportunity right then. I mean, when they had the 3-1 collapse in Denver in the bubble, right? That was the first time that the franchise was probably met with the decision of this investment that we had of Paul George and Kawhi. Do we want to keep seeing this through, or do we retool and do it differently? And I think if they weren't operating from a desperation mindset, if they had more winning in their past, they would have looked at that and said, these guys did their best that they could. They're not good enough. Let's trade them now. I genuinely believe that. I think that
I agree with you,
the fact that they kept Kawhi and they extended him and they're allowing him to do whatever the hell he wants to do while having no promotion, no PR for the team. He doesn't have any statements. We heard what James Harden feels about this Chris Paul situation, but we don't know what Kawhi feels. He doesn't say anything to anyone ever. That is the worst possible person you could have as the face of your franchise, because the talent is always going to be there, but the other parts of being a star isn't there. So you're handcuffed to the idea that maybe this guy is good enough, even though he doesn't have everything that we need. So it's not all Kawhi's fault, but he is a representation of the mentality that's the ownership. He is the perfect face. He is the perfect star for what the Clippers are in terms of being desperate but having enough talent to say, hey, come to the game, come to this new arena that we just built.
Hey, give us more money, even though we don't.
Come buy these Paul George, Leonard, buy these George and Leonard jerseys, buy this Harden jersey, buy the Zubats jersey. We're gonna, we're gonna stay competitive. That's at a certain point, your emotions, the winning that I saw, if I see Kawhi hit a game winner, it doesn't mean crap to me because I don't have the emotions for it.
Hey Josh, how many people do you think bought season ticket packages, half a season, full season, quarter season, because they bought into the idea that Chris Paul was going to be on this retirement tour last season?
Let me announce something on this podcast that I haven't told anybody.
And that's what I'm talking about, right? Say you did that, and then they do this.
Bread. I was saving up bread to fly to LA to I had my flight was already booked. I've been saving up for months to get to this game. That is crazy.
This is what I'm talking about.
It's violation.
This is what I'm talking about.
It's violation. It's violation.
You can't look the other way with some shit like that. You can't. You just can't. You can't.
I wanted
you can't
to see
just be
that
like, it's all right. Dre, your final point on this specific. Sorry. Go ahead, Josh. My bad.
No, I'm saying I wanted to see that man retire in the new Clippers arena. I thought that would be the most beautiful thing, the perfect end of an era. Maybe he doesn't want a ring, but we get to see our guy go out like a champion.
They should bring him back.
No, they shouldn't.
Paul, when you hear that kind of story, hold on, wait, Paul. When you hear that kind of story,
it doesn't do anything.
Part of you can feels like that's justified.
All I'm saying
that's one person. There's probably thousands of people like that.
That's disrespectful, man.
There's thousands of people like that, bro.
You don't want to say billions?
And there's people.
No, I'm not gonna say millions.
Work with the team. That guy today worked with the team, man. That guy who posted.
Paul, when you hear something like that, you can't understand denouncing fandom when there's stories like that. You can't understand that.
That guy was a ball boy. He had pictures with Blake, the guy who posted this morning. He was like, "Come on, man, that's disrespectful."
Come on, man.
Listen.
You can't take that sitting down. Like you can't.
Listen.
Then show up to the game on Monday.
Are you crazy?
I understand. I understand the pain, right? But I'm gonna say two things. One, if they bring back Chris Paul, a lot of people are gonna go back, right?
They're not bringing him back.
They're not, but you never know. Number one. Number two. Number two. All I'm gonna say, and I said it before, I'm gonna say it again. If you leave and come back, you should have left in the first place. That's all.
Can I respond to that one? Because that one I have particular.
Trey, wrap us. We're right at the 1:30 mark. Wrap us, because you are a person that has done all of this. You've been where Josh. Well, you've kind of been where Josh has been, but not as bad, I would argue. But you've also been the other side where you've come back. Do you feel when you hear a story like Josh's?
Hold on.
Yeah, right. Brother. When you hear a story like Josh's, speak to how that affirms how you feel about when it's justified to leave, and then speak to your final point about leaving and coming back. But I need to hear, because you stand on this side with me and Josh. I need you to speak about when you hear a story like that, why you believe it's okay to leave.
So when I hear a story like this, number one, I feel bad for the brother. All right, I know where you are. And here's the here's the thing. There are thousands of people like that. They're little kids, man. There are little kids whose whose dads have been telling them about Chris Paul. Man, I can't wait to take you to the game to see the legend I've been watching my whole life. You're gonna love. This is a foundational moment. This is a foundational moment that we were robbed of. Okay, when I hear things like that, man, I almost want to curse. I really want to say some things right now that, like, if y'all were watching the live stream, y'all seen me get angry last night. All right. That's how I feel. I feel so rationally and irrationally angry about this. And when I hear this, it just demonstrates a couple things. I'm not trying to make this a bigger thing, but There are racial aspects, there are financial aspects.
I'm saying we can't ignore that part. We can't ignore that part.
You know what I'm saying about how they view people, about how these billionaires view us? Like, there is such a dynamic, and this is what really pisses me off. And I love you, Paul, you know it, but your take is almost like you can abuse me however you want. I'm still gonna stay. That's not okay.
You came back.
I came back because there was a change.
Let him land.
There was an actual repentive, redemptive change in the culture that separated itself from the harmful behavior that happened 5 to 8 years ago.
Stop. Dre, talk about what made you leave as well. Talk about what made you leave.
I'll tell you exactly what made me leave. The disrespect for Carmelo Anthony, not being organized as a team. What really set me off was in 2020, as I've said before, right? When everyone was coming out and supporting Black Lives Matter and talking about COVID, James Dolan adamantly said anyone that works for MSG that goes out and speaks against these things will no longer be part of the organization. And then he made a financial contribution of $2 to $5 million to a political candidate who was against everything we were about, demonstrating that he doesn't care about the culture, he doesn't care about the fans, and he doesn't care about what we want. I did not want to be a part of this any longer. At that moment, I decided I'm going to be part of a franchise. Maybe I can't go to LA, but the New York, thanks to Brooklyn coming over, they have another team I can be a part of. Let me see what they're about, right? And something the Knicks ended up doing is James Dolan took a gigantic step back. And the team started doing something that I loved, which was they started demonstrating we are building on a foundation of fan support, of fan allegiance, of honestly even just the power of friendship with the Villanova 4 that came to, or almost 4 that came together. And we're creating something that we can make our fans proud of. It wasn't just fan service. It was a cultural awareness and cultural movement to bring back fans like me. And it worked. Because as you said, Paul, my heart was still with the Knicks. Even while I was supporting the Nets, I said I would still love to see the Knicks succeed. And they weren't. But when they did and they demonstrated this change, it was something, even they didn't win a chip. Okay? I rejoined them when they were still in the first round. But it was just good to see that they had changed their ways. Does that mean I'm with the Knicks for life? No. If they ever go back to being the way they were, if James Dolan continues to be like this, or they get a new owner that's like this, I might be prompted to leave. Because the Knicks don't.
Can I amplify something you're talking to as well?
This is
Can I amplify something you're talking to? Let's really name it. Everything you said is correct, but what happened? A specific leadership change was made.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, Dolan, not only did Dolan take a step back, he took a step back and he brought in Leon Rose and Worldwide West, who assumed leadership and began doing things in a culture that you could now stand with.
Correct.
This matters, right? So in contrast to Josh, when Ballmer stands on these things, and we've learned about how Ballmer operates business-wise with this Aspire stuff, and then Lawrence Frank and Tyronn Lue make decisions like this, and Ballmer signs off on them. The Mavericks, everyone was saying, fire Nico Harrison. That owner got away with murder. He flipped it to make it look like that was a Nico decision, and the fan base turned on Nico and not their ownership. And then the NBA gave them a stimulus package by getting Cooper Flag to hold those fans in, because the NBA knew we're about to lose an entire fan base. Mavericks fans are hanging on by a thin thread because it's going to be Nico, but soon they're going to turn around and say, hey, these new owners, where's Mark? Where is Mark? Especially when Mark comes out and says, that's crazy. I would never have done that.
Listen, to capitalize it and finish it off, Josh, and to all the Clippers fans affected by this, my heart goes out to y'all. This was terrible. The Knicks are open. Come, especially if you're from New York. Our fandom is wide open. Our arms are open wide. Come join us. But
how
fans,
many different ways are you going to say wide and open? Are you
fans,
open?
Hey,
fans,
yo, Mark.
Fans, just remember, as consumers, okay, your dollars are owned by nobody but you. Your loyalty is owned by nobody but you. You can choose who it goes to, and choose wisely.
Well, we're right at 1:35. Thank y'all for tuning in to this episode.
We're not talking about the Knicks Celtics?
No. Josh, thank you for helping us.
I'm sure you know.
Acknowledge episode 100. Again, tune in next week when we celebrate 100 completed episodes when the job is finished. And thank you for tuning in last night. If you did, we'll see you again next Friday night, 10 p.m. on Twitch for Rec Runs, where we run the rec. And we'll see you again next Saturday at some point in the day. Don't worry about it. Have your notifications turned on in your alerts. When we pod is when we pod, and when you get us is when you got us. You already know what it is. Bow! Light it up.
Come on. It's Fastbreaks. Listen. We back with another one. Fast breaks, yeah, we coming with the takes. Never early, never late, but we always push the pace, yeah. And we really study tape, y'all just view the highlights. Man, we really watching games, yeah. You just watch from the stands. We run 3-man weeks, Paul, Dre, and Allen, yeah. Way more than a fan. We got love for the game. We don't have to pretend. Got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. I'm the run the fast break, throw me the outlet. Yeah, we got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. Time to run the fast break, throw me the